This is Phil KF4ZTO. We have spoken before. We spoke when I was on my way to pick up water. We talked about your Motorola system Saber HT, the Jedi radio that you were running, at least at the time. And yeah, I'm up here in Northside Richmond on a HTX-202 right now. So previously, or last time we spoke, I was on my mobile, but I'm working from home today, so I've got my HT on. How's my audio sound on your end? Over.
Yeah, we just had action from school. I'm a senior this year, so senior relief.
Phil, I got a great copy, and I do remember our conversation. I'm just trying to get the names of everybody in here and trying to recognize your voice, being that I haven't been on the air for a long time. You're sounding good. How copy on my side? Over.
Yeah, that's fine business, not a problem at all. You are readable. There's a little bit of popping kind of noise in the background, but your signal, your audio is nice and loud and punchy, and you're 100% readable. So I wouldn't change anything. I think you're good where you are. Are you on that Motorola Saber right now?
Yes, Bill, I am on the Saber, and I'm in the house, laying down on my bed, and as I've often mentioned, that if I go to the front doorstep, and sit on the bench out there, I get it at full quiety, but it's just so daggone cold out there. I just thought I would take my chances from my bedroom this time. Yeah, I'm on this. I've got two of these radios, and they really do a job there. 6 watts of power out. Over.
Yeah, those are like, I know we've talked about this before, but those are excellent radios, especially the build quality and the receive quality is really second to none. And I don't want any, like I said, probably said previously, I don't want to get any flack from any GE land mobile equipment guys out there, but yeah, I like the Motorola gear. Got a lot of GE gear as well. Let me ask you this, Scott. Are you using the stock factory antenna on that HT?
No, sir, I am not. I am using a connector that screws down into the radio, and I'm running a BNC antenna. This was an antenna that I had, this little HD antenna. It's set for 146, and I ran an SWR check on it, and it was pretty much 1-to-1 as far as right around the 145, 146 band. I think on this band it's something like 1.2 on the SWR. I've got one of those, gosh, I forgot what it was called. It's a device that you use to check your SWR on your mobile unit, or you can take, BNC connectors. It's got a BNC adapter on it, and I use this because the stump radio was set up more for a commercial type outfit, like on the 160 band, the railroad band, and I didn't want that. So I wanted to be able, but I do have another antenna that is set for 160, and I use that when I go out on train watching, because I put that antenna in and it picks up a whole lot better, especially especially when you use an antenna that's cut for the frequency that you're monitoring or transmitting on. Now, of course, I don't transmit on that 160 band. That's totally illegal. That's a railroad band. But I will use it to just monitor and receive. So no, I am not using the stock antenna. In fact, I don't even know where it is. I've had this radio set up like this for years.
Because I think I might have mentioned this before. I've got some Motorola equipment myself, including an old Radius, I believe it's P1225, P1215 Radius handheld, and that one's got the basically it's just like a stud. Antennas, mobile antennas, and he does, build them for all the different types of connectors, thread, threading types that you have with those types of older commercial radios. So your Saber and the Radius and all that, and I actually know two different companies that manufacture that type of equipment or the antennas, so you don't have to worry about having an adapter. It just screws right in the top. But it sounds like you've got it already set up more or less to a good place.
Yeah, I really like the BNC antennas because you can buy ones that are affiliated with whatever frequency that you have. And come to fact, now that I remember, I think I got this BNC from Motorola up on Mountain Road there. I know those guys that work at that shop. Been going there for 20-something plus years. And they ordered this antenna for me. And I did not get this at HRO. I take that back. I didn't get this from HRO. I got it from the Motorola dealership. Because 20-something years ago, they were still using some type of BNC antennas, and then they finally went to one that, let's see, you actually have to add a part to it. You've got to add this little screw-in piece that will accommodate the BNC. So, yeah, I believe I'm almost pretty sure that I got these, and I got them to order them. I wanted to get one for the 160 megahertz. I wanted to get one for the 151.820, which is the MURS frequencies, which we're allowed to talk on. There's 5 channels you can talk on, or 5 frequencies. So yeah, this thing, I've got it set up pretty good, man. It does a great job. It's got a 3,000 milliamp battery, in which I ordered from a company somewhere out of the north up there. I forgot the name of the company, but anyway, back over to you, Phil.
I'm very familiar with that shop, Radio Communications of Virginia. I've bought adapters from them myself, actually. Just walked into the shop and asked for specific adapters. In my case, it was a mini UHF to SO239 adapter. And I'm very familiar with the MURS channels. 151.820, 151.880, 151.940, 154.570, and 154.600. License free, 2-watt power limit, and you're not limited as far as what modes you can use. You can transmit voice data. You can transmit in AM mode if you want to. You could run sideband as long as it meets the bandwidth requirements and the power. Obviously, the power limit requirements as well. The company that I'm thinking of, they will make an antenna. They sell antennas that the antenna screws right into the original factory connector right in on the radio there, regardless of what type of connector it is. The two different companies I'm talking about rather. But I know exactly what you're talking about. I've got several of these aftermarket antennas myself, with BNC connectors, with SMA connectors, with the SMA male connectors, got one cut for 146.25, got one cut for 150, got one cut for 155. I know exactly what you're talking about there. The MURS, service, the MURS service is kind of cool. It's like a VHF CD service, effectively. And you're only limited by power output. There's no limit on antenna gain, and the antenna height is only limited to, has to be under 60 feet above the ground. So, there's a lot you could do with the antenna being 60 feet above the ground.
I've only talked on 151.820 or 151.880, and I think the other one is 940. I think that's the one down in the three down in the 151 range, and there's two frequencies in the 154 range. But I very seldom ever hear anybody in here use that. I have heard some people and had some CISOs down on the 151 band, which is AC. But I don't hear anybody. It's almost like nobody really uses it.
ZTO, those frequencies are definitely used. I mean, at least in town, there's definitely activity on them. 151.82, 151.88, 151.94, and then 154.57. And 154.6. Those are the five frequencies. I do know that some organizations will have those frequencies programmed in their radios just as like a kind of talk around channel. I heard I guess it was like a private ambulance company or something. They were using 154.600. Kind of for like car to car or truck to truck channel. So they're definitely used. They were obviously running a PL tone on there, but there's definitely activity on those frequencies. Just not as much as there is on the amateur frequencies, but I definitely would say that everyone should have those frequencies in their radios, because they are license free, and there are businesses that use them, at least in town, and I can definitely confirm that they are used, and they're used for lots of database, data type services, telemetry, links, and the GPS dog collars that everybody uses, for their hunting dogs. Those use the MURS frequencies.
Or they can present it in a way that you can add it to what you're doing and make it look like.
I sort of have a problem with is the people that are using those frequencies, because that is considered like it's within the commercial band. It's just above 2 meters, but I never on Broad Street, and I happen to have the radio set on like 151.940 or something like that, and I could hear the security people talking on it. But they were using some type of commercial radio, either a Motorola or a Yaesu. They were talking on something that was type accepted, over.
ZTO Portable, yeah. I know that Walmart uses those frequencies a lot for that. For the most part, Target is on UHF, and Walmart is slowly moving away from using the MURS frequencies. But yeah, they're Motorola radios that they use for the most part. And believe it or not, those frequencies, the 5 MURS frequencies, are now they're not part 90, they're part 95, which is the same, section of the FCC rules that the CB radio service, FRS, DMRS, those services are under. So it still has to be a type accepted radio, but it does not have to be type accepted for part 90, which is the commercial band, the land mobile band. So, the 151 frequencies are narrowband deviation only, narrow deviation only. The 154.57 and 154.6 frequencies, you can still run wideband deviation, 5 kilohertz deviation on those frequencies, but the 151.82, 151.88, and 151.94 frequencies are narrowband only, just like the other commercial frequencies are. But yeah, it's actually under Part 95 now because it's a license-free service. So just like FRS, you can use it for business or personal use.
We can move from one spot to another spot, reacquire the target, and fire. I think I'd like to do that just to get familiar with it. I think it's something we really need to do. I don't mind standing in a stall, but you can't
Station, go ahead, or
cover behind a wall or acquiring a target down a hallway or something like that.
Are the radios or amateur radios that are coming out this day and age? I haven't bought one in years. I've had these Motorola stuff out. Such workhorses, and they're solid as a rock, man. Are there any ham radios that have that particular band open where you can talk on 151 or 154, or do you have to go out and buy a Motorola or some other type of commercial radio? I know ICOM makes commercial radios. I'm pretty sure of that. So do you get my question there? Are these new amateur radios for AT, are they already open there? Or do you have to modify the radio in order to go to those frequencies?
Yeah, I got to stay up on that. It's not terribly expensive. It's not cheap.
ZTO Portable. Yeah, no, you still have to modify them. You still have to do the open transmit modification to the amateur radio. Yeah, you can buy radios, Motorola, ICOM, make MURS radios that are, now they are advertised as MURS radios because since the FCC moved that service to Part 95, it's not under Part 90 like commercial radios are, or under Part 97 like amateur radios are. They do have to be type accepted still, but they have to be type accepted under the regulations of Part 95. But yeah, if you were to, open up your amateur radio and transmit on those frequencies, that would technically be against regulations. So yeah, that's to answer your question. No, not out of the box, not legally anyway. I think a lot of the users of those frequencies are running legal radios, but I'm sure there are folks that are running radios that are not type accepted, but they probably, they meet the requirements for the bandwidth and the FM deviation and power output. Yeah. So the answer would be no. You not not at least not in theory.
Very good. Are you still copying me pretty clear there on Phil?
Your signal has gotten a little bit noisier the past couple transmissions. A little bit more difficult to copy, but I'm still able to hear you.
All right, Mark. Have a good day. Good catching up with you. With my membership, you got to bring again.
Yeah, roger that. Well, hopefully we're making it in there. But listen here, I've got to run across the street to the food line, and I've got to grab something there. And I thought I would just jump in here and throw the call out and see who comes back. But yeah, I have really enjoyed these two radios, man. They definitely are rugged, and they're very, very heavy. Man, I mean, my God, compared to your typical AC, I mean, this radio feels like it weighs 5 pounds. I mean, it's almost hard for me to hold it in my hand. I have to kind of lay it down on the bed and flip the antenna up in the air. But yeah, they're very heavy radios. I mean, weight-wise. But come back to me with your final comments. I'm gonna have to jump out of here and run across the street here and get something. And good to talk to you there, Phil. We'll get back to you again soon. Over.
All right, roger that. And yeah, sounds good. And I gotta love a brick radio. Like I said, I was on that HTX-202, which is also very much a brick. And we will catch you on down the line. I'm working here, but got the radio on in the background. At least just listening to the repeater. So we'll talk to you soon. 73. This is KF4ZTO.